Hello, Acolytes, and welcome to a recorded Rogue Trader playthrough. Taking a slightly different path from what I intend to do with what I have been doing with my streamed playthrough. Rather than playing a self-insert psyker, this time I am playing as... I guess I'll be running around as an XP of Azula. Even put together a custom portrait to make sure she's properly represented. Got about as close as I decided I could. And so from here I will be covering the build I've kind of cobbled together. That's the starting build. We're going with Imperial World first thing to maximize willpower as much as we can. So we get the plus 10 there. Of course, if we are going... of course, we're going to be a psyker because Azula is a firebender. Which, of course, means pyromancer. For the triumph, I went for Feat of Greatness. Coercion, because she's a scary lady. And then went for Grim Portents, because she's for the minus to logic, because she's also not the most stable. Oh, speaking of which, I'm also planning to go Heretic, as opposed to the Dogmatic I've been doing in my streams. And for Archetype, I decided on Officer. As much as I wanted to use... much as I kind of want to use Operative to maximize damage, I figure Officer would be good to... would be a good option for... the other thing. For those situations where casting Fireball is not the best option. And it'll line up pretty well, because I'm also not planning to use the companions that the game gives you. I'm planning to have her entirely surrounded by loyal mercenaries, all of whom will also be heretics, for better or worse. And if you want to be one of those mercenaries, go ahead and comment below. And I'll see about getting you added in. But yes. So I went for Officer so that she can order her minions around. For the origin... for the characteristic ups, I focused entirely on Perception... because why not? I don't know exactly how useful it's going to be, but... of course, Willpower being the next one, and Fellowship to align with her Officer archetype. Plus, you know, she's going to be a proper rogue trader. She knows how to coerce, commerce, and persuade. And our frigate is going to be the Fire Lord. Because why not? And here's Azula as she is. She's very coercive, not that logical, very strong-willed, and on we go.
an excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
All this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify.
An interesting perspective. However, allow me to offer you a bit of advice. In the interests of your own well-being, you should frame your thoughts with greater piety. Demonstrating such a lack of care when choosing your words might be viewed by certain people as evidence of insufficient trepidation before the God Emperor, the master of humanity.
I do not show deference to things I do not believe in myself.
Your position won't protect you for long if you continue making such pronouncements. Know that a fate far more compelling and eventful awaits you than being executed as a heretic. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valancius. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
He bows his head and focuses his attention on me. My name is Azula.
My regards, mistress. Or should I say, von Valancius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you, understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generations separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of Her Ladyship's servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty.
Lord Captain? Strange title for the Lady Theodora.
Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis, at the time when the first rogue traders entered the God Emperor's service, and therefore, it is sacrosanct.
Why am I aboard this vessel? Why have I been brought here?
So that you may fulfill your blood duty. Whatever obligations you had before, they are henceforth null and void. By order of the Lord Captain, you have been requisitioned to serve the rogue trader, indeed blessed by the God Emperor. Your former position may have been different from conventional service as part of one of the institutions of the Imperium, but from now on, a different fate awaits you. One chosen for you by the Lord Captain. I advise you to come to terms with this reality as quickly as possible.
You have a curious title, Master of Whispers. What are your responsibilities?
To put it plainly, I am the head of the network of spies and informers who serve the interests of House von Valancius. I uncover weak links both among Lady Theodora's retinue and in the ranks of her rivals. I eliminate our vulnerabilities and exploit those of others.
Tell me about the one on whose ship I have found myself.
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back. Especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that Her Ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
Say I am one of the Rogue Trader's heirs, so there's another one?
There is. And you will meet him soon enough.
I assume you have some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness. and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Ethelthrad von Valancius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Let us.
Let us not dawdle.
Show data on the vid screen. Sacred mechanism has been interfered with without due reverence. The duration of the processing cycle has tripled. Incomprehensible information is displayed on a large screen above the cogitators. You can make out references to unfamiliar systems and worlds among the numbers and the logisticar symbols. The people interfering in the operations of the sacred mechanisms disturbs the machine spirits. In the name of the Omnissiah, refrain from any further profane acts. Incomprehensible information is stuff. Maybe.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
See a massive conference table, obviously crafted from real wood, resources of incredible value on a void ship. A candlelit altar with a copy of the 2348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of the Sacred Laws of the Imperium. Need to adjust.
Von Valancius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
Maybe. But first, we have a little something to deal with.
What's happening? Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
Your demise is already calculated.
No choice but to start the battle. Oh, they're actually getting some shots off.
I'll see to it personally.
A little bit of ignition.
I'll make it happen.
Actually, what does voice of command do? Increasing all their characteristics by 14 for 1 round. And all abilities can be applied to voice of command from any distance. Cool. And let's make sure to get out of range.
I'll see
Continue
to it
ignition.
I refuse.
Buff up. Okay. Can't seem to buff one. There goes the other.
It's as good as done.
And then he finally makes his shot. I can scarcely believe it on a day like this.
Suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
But no one is allowed to enter the premises. Stations.
I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
The Master of Whispers gives you a curt bow. But first... Yeah, got it. Let's make sure to have proper protagonist head protection. And then look at a bunch of stuff. The wires in the servitor's head are still smoldering. It would seem the cause of this malfunction was the short-circuiting of the motive force. Tarantula sentry gun, constructed with the blessing of the Adeptus Mechanicus using an STC, and the manufactorums of Kiava Gamma. Luminous battle tank, reclaimed and restored by the grace of the God Emperor, the first to breach the capital walls during the pacification of Vortes Chiton. This exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House von Valancius' valor will be displayed here at some point in the future. So, back here. A violet ally, which, upon closer examination, turns out to be a handcrafted object. Symbols carved with a primitive tool are visible on the surface. A black shard resembling obsidian. If you look closely, you can discern a strange, barely discernible glow inside the artifact. A massive golden amalgam interspersed with sparkling particles.
I always have a backup plan.
The stone on the pedestal is no doubt solid, but its surface shimmers and changes hue, as if someone has captured a piece of turbulent sea within the rock. A strange object that resembles sea coral. The porous surface is pitted, a sign that it has been underwater. A gray-green crystal with white veins. A low hum can be heard coming from the artifact. And we make our move. Nope. Okay.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Says the man dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension. His face, half of which is covered by a sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad?
The tall, gray-haired woman pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Listen in silence.
While you are considering your answer, Edelthrad, I wish to speak with someone else. Perhaps I shall hear something more interesting than incoherent mumbling. Approach.
What is this? Is this someone from your retinue, Theodora? Do you permit your people to interrupt your conversations in such a fashion?
I give that permission to those with something of substance to say. Let us see if it was worth it. This is the second candidate for the title of my successor. Step forward. Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crew sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
These reports of spirits certainly sound like evidence of heresy. However, I've put my interests first. No matter what means I would have to use, the riches of Ion 6 would be mine.
Yes, Now I see the blood of the dynasty in your veins. Greed disguised as pride and vanity. What say you to that, Edelthrud? There is an answer that is quite different from yours, isn't it?
Perhaps I have not yet acquainted myself with all the intricacies of serving on the frontier. But my loyalty to the God Emperor forbids even a shadow of such thoughts. Heresy, whatever form it might take, must be exterminated. And there can be no place for base ambitions. I know his tenets well, unlike our new acquaintance.
I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was more than you could do, Edelthred.
Insolent, ignorant upstart. How dare you?
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officers' deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
He bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look.
So, why are you here?
There are questions that I wish to have answered.
You are direct. I approve. But you will have to wait. There is something I want you to understand first. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes.
One of? Does this mean there are other heirs?
Naturally. Some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate.
So, Custom, I should probably turn up the sounds to normal.
Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake.
If you're satisfied with Edelthred, then what sense is there in having this conversation? Why are you wasting your time on me?
Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Edelthrad as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Coronis Expanse. It says in your profile that you bear the brand of sorcery, albeit sanctioned sorcery that is permitted in the service of the Imperium. I am accustomed to the presence of psychers at my side. More than that, I value their unique abilities highly. Perhaps that is why I am so intrigued by Edelthrad's candidacy. A rogue trader psyker could achieve great things indeed. However, psychers are fragile creatures, and as such I would rather have a replacement standing ready in the event that something happens to Edelthrad. Moreover, your courage has made you far more famous than you yourself probably realize. True feats of heroism will forever live on in the annals of the Imperium and bring honor to the von Valancius line.
Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you?
His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly and, as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voigtvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least.
Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now?
I have some time before the Navigator gives the signal to initiate the Void Ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge.
Navigator, translation. What are these things you speak of?
Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars. Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Gellerfield, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead, sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars.
An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is ancient. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live.
Where is your ship headed?
The Rykad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers, and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykad on the demand for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
What are my current responsibilities?
Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide.
I have no more questions.
In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
then combat. Horde of heretics. Ready to be eliminated.
Challenges make the spoils that much sweeter.
The Masters demand your death! For now. Gonna hurt!
A tactically sound approach.
Follow my lead. Death to the heretics! Out of my way!
My ears are ringing.
Death to non-believers!
I'll brush this off.
Yeah, let's
On
go
it.
ahead and do that.
Your end was inevitable.
I can't use my voice of command on anybody.
Crush the feeble!
Death to the weak!
No mercy for heretics!
Reduced to dust! Ah! Stay vigilant! For the glory of the Imperial! I serve the ruinous power! I took care of this one.
And then finally it's my turn.
Another enemy down.
Nice.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
She looks at the Vox in her hand. All you can hear is a lifeless static. What are your
Mort has
orders?
gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
And with that, we are free to at least move forward. But this is also the end of this first episode. Thank you for watching. I hope you will continue watching later. Please remember to do all the liking and the subscribing. Maybe even take a look at my live playthrough. Or join me for a live stream. Wherever you see me next, I'll see you later.